What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Charles Wilson. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing the recent matchup between my Washington Commanders and the Seattle Seahawks. Not the result I wanted, not the result I was hoping for. Another heartbreaking loss for the Washington Commanders. They played it close, they played hard, but it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. And we've seen this story time and time again with the Commanders. But all in all, it was definitely a competitive game. It was a great game. I enjoyed the game, just didn't enjoy the finish of the game. Definitely, I have a lot of critiques to make about that. But before we get into it, I want to shout out my guy, close friend, guest of the channel. Had him on last week. Shout out Jason Brown. Me and him, we had a discussion last week, a preview on this game, and we discussed it. And we were very close. I would say both of us were very close with our predictions as far as this game went. And um, you know, I just wanted to give him a spotlight, shout him out. Thanks again for coming on, Jason. And congratulations on your Seahawks W. Wish my Commanders had played a little bit closer. We probably would have got the W, guys. But congrats on the W. Congrats on the W. I give it to you. But before we get into it, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, as well as follow on the Fourth and Goal Sports Instagram page. But without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with how the game began. The way the game started, I was impressed. I was impressed. The way the game started, you got Sam Howell in the gun formation, gets the snap, drifts to his left, rolls to his left, dump off past the B-Rob. Beautiful, beautiful. Takes it upfield, speeds upfield, has the blocks, touchdown. That's the way you start the game. B-Rob played amazing. He set the tone from the jump. He set the tone from the start of the game. I love the way he played. And Sam was trusting him. Sam was trusting his backs. Antonio Gibson and B-Rob, they were the highlight of our offense. Sam Howell, Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson, and De'Ami Brown. It seemed like those guys were, solid today. But as far as the rest of the offense, it wasn't very well. And I'm also forgetting our offensive line. Our offensive line played pretty solid as well. If I'm not mistaken, they only gave up three sacks, today versus Seattle. So on the offensive end, we played well enough to win this game. We played well enough to win this game, but the biggest issue has been, for the most part, what it's been all season. It's the defense. The defense. From the secondary to the linebackers to the front, we have a major problem. We have a major problem, and this problem, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's been a problem. From the coordinator, Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator, he needs to go. He needs to go. I've said this before, and knowing this team, sadly, I'm going to have to say it again. He needs to go. It's long overdue. It's long overdue. Any coordinator who had Chase Young, John Allen, Deron Payne, and Montez Sweat on their front four defensive line, you had those stars, and you couldn't produce. You couldn't get it done. He needs to go. He needs to go. If he couldn't do it with all those guys together, what makes the owners, what makes the GM, what makes the guys in the front office and Ron Rivera, the head coach, think that he's going to do better with guys like Casey Toohill, with guys like KJ Henry, with guys like F.A. Obata, with guys like James Smith Williams? Respect to those guys. I love their effort. I love how they fight and they keep fighting. But guess what? I'd be a liar if I sat up here and told you that they're getting it done, because they're clearly not. There was zero pressure on Geno Smith the whole game. He was sitting back there all day with no pressure at all. No pressure at all. If I'm not mistaken, there was only one sack that we had today. You know how much money is being paid to John Allen, to Deron Payne to get it done? And I'm a big fan of both of those guys. And as great as competitors as they are, they're not getting it done right now. And I think they'd be the first to tell you that. They need to do better. Everybody on the team needs to do better. Everybody on the team needs to do better. That's one thing I can guarantee. That's one thing I can guarantee. And to me, it starts with coaching. It starts with coaching. But for sure, adjustments need to be made. Um, this loss is just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because for the most part in the first half, I was confident we were playing well. The defense had its problems, but they were playing well for the most part. But the second half, it was just like the defense was, it collapses, it collapses, it collapses, like it always does. Benjamin St. Juste, I really believed he was going to be the breakout player of the year for this team. I really believed it, or at least on the defensive end, because I knew what Sam Howell was going to do. I want to clarify that. And a lot of people laughed at me for it, but look what the guy's doing. Most passing yards in the league. Put some respect on his name. Put some respect on his name. But when it came to Benjamin St. Juste, I believed that he was going to be the defensive star on this team. I believed that Benjamin St. Juste was going to have a breakout year, and he's just not getting it done. It seems like game after game after game at this point, the man's getting bagged. The man's getting worked. And it was no different this game. It was no different this game. And I understand that, the defense it wasn't its usual self due to the start of the game with, you know, just a terrible ejection in my opinion. Was it a flag? Yes. But in no way was Emmanuel Forbes being egregious. In no way was he being, purposely intentful on trying to hurt Tyler Lockett. In no way. In no way. In no way did I see that. And he shouldn't have been ejected. And I think, believe it or not, I think he could have changed the game. I really believe that. Geno Smith, he's been struggling, and he's also been having turnover problems. But like I said in my preview with Jason, I said if there's any defense in the league that a struggling quarterback is going to do well against, you best believe it's Washington's defense. This defense has been struggling all year. Um, and it's only gotten worse after trading Montez and Chase because somehow, the two guys that are leading your team in sacks, apparently they were the problem. Apparently they were the ones who, were making this defense bad. It doesn't make any logical sense where the direction of this team is going, because it always seems to be in that mid-tier pack, and just in that mid-tier pack where you're not bad enough to get a good pick and you're too good to get a good pick. So, that's where this team has been. That's where this team has been. It's time for Ron Rivera to go. It's time for Jack Del Rio to go. I would say at this point in the season, if we lose to New York, just clear house. Just clear house. At that point, promote Eric Bieniemy to head coach at that point, and let Ron, JDR, Martin Mayhew, let them guys go. Let them go, because it's been atrocious. But going back to the football side, how about Sam Howell? How about Sam Howell? Win or lose in this game, how about Sam Howell? Sam Howell has been balling out. Sam Howell has been balling out, and it's about time folks give him his credit. It's about time folks give him his credit, because I said this, man. Y'all didn't believe in me. Y'all didn't believe in me. Y'all didn't believe in me. Y'all said, "What are you seeing, Sam? What's so special about Sam?" I watched his college highlights, broke it down for y'all. Y'all still said, "Oh, that's just college. This is a different level." Guess what? It's not too different. He dominated in college. He's balling out right now. He's balling out right now, and he's doing it week after week after week. Yes, he's having mistakes here and there, like the fumble he had in this game. Inexcusable. He should have just went down. He kept going, got stripped out. Inexcusable play. and he's going to get better and better by weeks. And he's going to keep working on trying to limit turnovers. That's for sure. But several consecutive 300 passing yard games. This game, he had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and if you take away that fumble, just a perfect game across the board. He balled out, and he also was smart to take, certain checkdowns. He took certain checkdowns, got it done, did what he had to do. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And how about that throw? How about that throw to De'Ami Brown?
In situations like this, quick, easy completion here gets a fourth and manageable.
3rd down and 10. Howell scanning the field, throwing over the middle. It's caught at the 15. De'Ami Brown, he'll take it to the house for the touchdown.
I remember watching that play. The commentator says, "We've been hearing it a lot. Is Sam Howell the franchise quarterback? I guess we'll see right here." Well, he showed you. He showed you. He shut you up real quick, didn't he? He shut you up real quick because what did he do? Throws a laser, a dot, straight to De'Ami Brown, gets the touchdown, clutches up for the offense, ties the game. But what happens after that? Of course, the defense lets Geno Smith drive down the field with 50 seconds left to go. Just drives down the field, gets the field goal, game over. Game over. And that play to DK Metcalf was disgusting. It was disgusting. Benjamin St. Juste was struggling, but that play was scheme-wise horrible. Horrible. We constantly use zone time and time again on the defensive end. After a while, you have to switch it up. You're running zone and zone every time, and you're giving the middle of the field open space, the underneath routes, the check downs, open space. You're over pursuing the zone when you need to come up a bit. And I think the guys are, way too deep. They're way too deep. Jack Del Rio has been coaching like that for as long as he's been, the defensive coordinator here with the Washington Commanders, Washington football team. And, it needs to change. It needs to change. Honestly, I just want him gone at this point. I want him gone. The defense is way, 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 way too talented to be playing like this. I know we traded away some talent, but I'm still confident that how we're playing football right now is not the best they could play. There's so much better they could play. But Jack Del Rio, he needs to go. He needs to go. It's about time. It's about time. It's long overdue. He needs to go because that last drive was a letdown. You basically just handed them the win. So at this point in the season, the Commanders have fallen to 4-6. They're third in the NFC East, winless in the NFC East so far. And the road gets tougher from here because, you're trying to keep going. You're trying to win, but it's difficult at this point. It's very difficult. I basically feel as though, the 49ers are going to win their division. And so Seattle, they're right there with the 49ers, but I feel like this is how it's going to end. I feel like Seattle's going to have that wild card spot. Either Dallas or Philly, whoever wins that, one of them is going to have a wild card spot on locks. And then that third wild card spot, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. For sure. You look at teams like the Vikings. Josh Dobbs is balling out right now. He's doing his thing. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And like Ron Rivera says every year, we control our own destiny. At this point, we don't. That ship has sailed. Now you're rooting for teams to lose instead of winning games and taking care of your business. Now you have to root against somebody else's business. And that's just not what winning football teams do. Winning football teams handle their business. You don't see Kansas City praying and hoping that, another team loses so they can get in a certain spot. Kansas City, they handle their business. They don't have to root for anybody to lose. They're going to handle their business. They're going to win a division like they always do. But when it comes down to the Commanders, we're just not a good football team at this point in time. We have good players. We have players that will fight to the death, and they're going to keep on fighting. Deep down, I feel like Sam Howell's playing like a top 10 quarterback. I feel like he deserves to be in the playoffs. But this coaching staff, outside of Eric Bieniemy, none of them deserve to be in this playoffs. No, none of them. They deserve to be fired. They deserve to be, told to turn in their keys and clear out their office. That's what they deserve. And that's not me, man, being disrespectful. That's not me being, a troll. That's not me being, a hater. That's me being honest. And I really feel like Ron Rivera has done good things for this organization. He's done good things as a coach, but I just think it's time to move on and start a new beginning. I think the new ownership should rid themselves of all Dan Snyder people that were part of this organization, as far as the staff, and just move on Start a new chapter. I think Eric Bieniemy deserves his chance as a head coach next season, but we're gonna see. Um, so as far as the season goes, we got the New York Football Giants next week. It's going to be a tough one. Believe it or not, it's going to be tough. I know they just got embarrassed by Dallas. Guess what? In Dallas, they have a team that is built to embarrass people. We don't have that. We're going to be fighting and clawing to win against the Giants because DeVito, knowing him, he's going to play his heart out. He has much to prove, and the Giants, they always play good at FedEx Field. But when it comes down to it, with this game, when it comes down to players of the game, even though we lost, I want to shout out Sam Howell. I want to shout out Brian Robinson. I want to shout out my guy Antonio Gibson and De'Ami Brown. Those four players seem like the guys that showed up today, and also Tress Way. But when it came down to the guys that we needed to show up, the guys that are getting the big bucks, Terry McLaurin, John Allen, Deron Payne, those guys didn't show up. That's the honest truth. They didn't show up, and we're going to need to see more versus New York if we want to keep our playoff hopes alive. At this point, you're going to be clawing for a playoff spot. You're going to have to fight for it because this NFC, it's no joke. It's no joke. There's plenty of teams that are going to be fighting for it. We're going to be one of them. I don't think this game will, completely wipe out our playoff hopes, but it's very, very slim at this point, and it's going to be very tough. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. We'll see what we do next week. I'm hoping Sam Howell lights the Giants up, but we're going to see. But in conclusion, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the Fourth and Goal Sports YouTube channel. Before you leave, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, as well as follow on the Fourth and Goal Sports Instagram page. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson. Have a blessed day. Peace.